You didn't know there's a place where Kentucky football and basketball fans unite. Welcome to Big Blue Breakdown. Whether you bleed blue or just love a good game, we've got the latest stories, hottest takes, and a whole lot of hometown pride. Hit play and join the conversation. This is your home for all things Kentucky sports.
Welcome in, everybody, to the Big Blue Breakdown. This is episode number 67 here on the podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this one. In today's episode, we're going to be breaking down the stats between Kentucky and South Carolina. We're going to be talking Cutter Bowley in this one. Then we'll be discussing the very last topic with the three biggest stats heading into the game for both teams in this one. So this is a breakdown of teams, basically comparison here, and what to kind of expect, and what are some trends for each team so far this year. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode. Make sure to help us out on Spotify by following, commenting there. And then same thing on YouTube. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and comment as well. Follow us on social media so you don't miss out on any extra content that we post on there as well. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning into this one. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break and give a word over to our friends at W Energy. Make sure to use code BIGBLUE10 to get 10% off your order every time you buy something from their website. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this one, and we'll be right back here on the Big Blue Breakdown, episode 67. Hello, everybody. We wanted to take a break in this episode to tell you about our friends over at W Energy. W is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like any other energy drink. Some facts about W. Number one, it's zero sugar, artificial colors, or dyes, or hidden ingredients. It is also gluten-free. Number two, all flavors are unique and custom made by W. You'll never taste anything like a W drink. Number three, the drinks are $1 or less, guys. That is cheaper than Starbucks or any canned drink. Lastly, it is made in the U.S. It is close to home. Guys, if you guys are looking forward to going to a Kentucky football game or Kentucky basketball game and you need some energy, get W. W is the perfect thing for you working out and you need some energy. You need W. You need W throughout the day. It is for you. Use promo code BIGBLUE10 to get 10% off every single order. Guys, it not only just helps you guys be able to have a clean energy drink that you can use all the time with the tubs that they give you. It helps me and it helps the channel keep growing with you guys. If you guys do that, it helps us post more content and helps them, guys. So it's a win-win-win for everybody. But thank you guys so much for your time here. Please go check out W. Check out their website. And when you are about to purchase something, use promo code BIGBLUE10 to get 10% off your order. Alrighty, let's go ahead and break down the numbers heading into the Kentucky-South Carolina game. So this game is at 7:45 at South Carolina. Under the lights, SEC Network / ESPN will be on this. I think Jordan Rogers will be on the call in this one. We also get Cole Kubik, who I am a very, very big fan of. Before we kind of dive into this is a very, very big game for both of these teams because this is a winnable game for both of these teams, but the slate of games for each of these teams gets 10 times harder moving forward. So this is a absolute humongous game for both teams moving forward. So going into this game, Kentucky's 2-1, South Carolina's 2-2. South Carolina, as of today, or as of yesterday, I don't think it's been changed quite yet because it might move. This line might move. But the spread for this game right now is South Carolina 6.5. They're a 6.5 point favorite. So you're either picking, touchdown here. they're saying it's going to be a touchdown win, most likely for the South Carolina Gamecocks, which is a pretty small spread heading into this one. Obviously, this can change, move up or down. It's going to be kind of interesting to see this line change throughout the week, and if it changes, what will it change to? So let's go ahead and break down the stats here. So Kentucky total offensive ranking is 75th in the country right now out of 134 teams, and then South Carolina's total offense, which is 121st out of 134 teams, which is not very good. Kentucky's isn't necessarily amazing either, but it is better than what South Carolina's is as of right now. And so the total offense, I know South Carolina's played more games, and they've probably played a little bit better competition than Kentucky has, but I think Kentucky has played the hardest game. If you were to put these two schedules together, Kentucky's played the hardest game in Ole Miss so far. But you can say Vanderbilt, Missouri, very, very tough right there. I'm not going to throw Virginia Tech in there because they got their butts handed to them by Old Dominion. So right there, and then Toledo. Sorry for anything. Like, it's all right. It's all right. So, but going back to this here, Kentucky 75th ranked total offense, South Carolina 121st. Not tremendous offenses here, but it does look like South Carolina, they just don't look great on the offensive side of the ball right now. Yards per play, this was very, very close. Kentucky at 5.69 right now, and South Carolina at 5.34. Not too much right there. I mean, that's a solid number. You probably want to be in the 6 yards per play type of range, and you feel really, really good about that right there. And Kentucky's really, really close to that, and so is South Carolina. It's just, I think they end up just beating themselves, and we're going to get into that later, with penalties. So this number really doesn't mean that much when they're beating themselves. Points per game. So this one's very, very interesting. This isn't offensive points per game. Kentucky, yes, this is offensive points because Kentucky has not had a kick return or a punt return this year, nor a pick six. So 31.7 is the average of what Kentucky has scored this year. They're averaging 31.7 so far this year. And on the other side here, South Carolina is averaging 22.3 total points a game. That is not how many offensive points they are averaging a game. Again, the highest they scored under Shula is 20 points, and that was against Missouri. I'm going to keep reiterating that because that is a big stat heading into this Kentucky game, and it's a big trend for the South Carolina Gamecocks, a very, very negative one so far. So this number of 22.3, which is about 9 points under Kentucky's, is even less than this. So offensive, yes, I'm gonna put this in here because it is a plus that their special teams can score and that their defense is able to score. But looking at it from a offensive perspective here, they're probably averaging, I didn't get the exact number, probably averaging around 18 to 19 points, which is not very good, especially heading into SEC play. That's going to get even tougher to score, to score more than that for them with what they've shown us so far. Total defense ranking, 114th. Kentucky now. That's not a great number. That is not a great number at all. I think a big reason why that number is here is because of how good an offense Ole Miss was. Still, I think that our defense was able to keep us in that game. And then the 20-something points that we gave up to Eastern Michigan, which we should not have. So I think that definitely pours into it. I think this number will actually get better going into SEC play because we are a very, very good defense. But that's not a great number right there in total defense. Now, South Carolina, this is where they get their first football here in total defensive ranking at 64th, which is pretty solid. They've had their issues, but overall, this is definitely the best side of the ball for the Gamecocks. Turnovers gained, ranked this year 79th for Kentucky. They've had about, I think, 5 interceptions this year. We had one against Toledo, J.Q. Hardaway, right? Two against Ole Miss. Ty Brand had two in the same quarter. And then the pick against Eastern Michigan. So we've had 4 total takeaways, all being interceptions. So that's been solid. So 79th isn't a bad number right there, but 66 is pretty daggone good for South Carolina. They've been able to consistently take the ball away from their opponent. A pick last week against Missouri, against Bo Pribula, was a very, very big pick for them. So they're consistently able to take the ball away from the other team. And okay clip, same thing for Kentucky, really around the same range, but South Carolina has been better at taking the ball away this year so far. And the last stat here is opponent points per game. Very, very close here. 23, Kentucky is giving up a game, and 23.5 is South Carolina giving up a game. So South Carolina has played more games and probably a little bit better competition, so I think that kind of weighs into the factor here, but I think this right here is kind of a little bit skewed with the Eastern Michigan game. He shouldn't have gave up that many points. These are not bad numbers right here for either of these teams. It's just the fact that South Carolina is giving up more points consistently at averaging 23.5 points a game, giving up more than they are scoring, and that is not a good sign for the Gamecocks. But Kentucky ends up having 4 total footballs here, and South Carolina ends up having 2. So, other big news for the Kentucky Wildcats. It is official, and I'm so glad that they made this official. It was yesterday, I think, when they actually came out and said this. The first depth chart report for the South Carolina game for Kentucky. Let's go to it here. Man, oh man. Cutter Boley getting the start against the Gamecocks. This is good news. This is big news for the Cats. So this has been perfect for him. He gets the bye week. Yes, I know Kentucky has been consistently bad out of bye weeks, but this was the perfect spot for him to start against Eastern Michigan. Was able to have a nice warm-up game, get into the system, get into the flow of games. Even though he played the end of the Ole Miss game, he was able to get in there, able to play the whole game against Eastern Michigan, able to have the QB1 reps for now. What is this going to be going on 3 weeks? This is very, very big for Kentucky. Kentucky has officially named Cutter Boley their starting quarterback. The Lexington native will get the start Saturday against South Carolina, and that is big news for Cats fans. Yes, it truly is, because now you're able to not have this quarterback controversy that Mark Stoops is saying. Now, the thing that they're saying is Zach Calzada is not fully healthy yet and all these different things. I think this is going to be the set in stone starter moving forward, and I think it should be. He's obviously has the upside, and he's shown that he ran the offense better in his start against Eastern Michigan. Now, this is his first ever SEC start. Not his first ever start, but his first ever SEC start on the road. This isn't his first ever SEC road game that he's played in. He played against Texas last year. Man, did he show some really, really good flashes. That's really the game where you've seen, yeah, this guy can be really, really good. But now it's going to be tough for him to go into Williams-Brice Stadium and pull off a win because of how tough this place is to play, especially at night, with a pretty daggone good defensive line and a defense that's going to try to get after you. But this is good news, especially moving forward. It's going to be tough with him, but he did show the ability that he is the best quarterback on the roster. So this is big news for the Cats. So let's go ahead and dive into the last segment of episode 67 here. Let's go ahead and dive right on into three biggest stats for this game. Kentucky at South Carolina. Three biggest stats. Now, obviously, there are. I want to stay away from the. Oh, you have to turn them over to win the football game. You have to have, you have to score touchdowns. So, like, I want to stay away from. Gotta win the turnover battle. You gotta score more points than the other team. You gotta, you know what? Yeah, force fumbles, whatever, right? I wanted to stay away from that. I wanted to be more detailed in this, and I think these things are very, very vital for who is going to come out in this game victorious. So, time of possession. Kentucky ranks, so this is how it is. The higher you are ranked in time of possession, the slower you like to go. The lower that you are ranked in time of possession, the faster you like to go. And as you guys can see, very, very different contrasting styles right here. 48th, Kentucky is in time of possession, averaging 31 minutes on the offense side of the ball, while South Carolina is averaging, or is 130th in the nation, likes to go a little bit faster, averaging 25 minutes on the offensive side of the ball. Now, this is vital. This is vital. I know South Carolina's offense has not been good all year. I'm just going to be straight up. South Carolina's offense has not been good all year at all. We cannot, or Kentucky cannot let them control the tempo of this game. And I'm talking for both teams here. If Kentucky wants to win this game, they have to be able to play at their pace, slow the game down, run the ball consistently, chew up clock, while on the other hand, South Carolina, they want to get outgoing. They want to get a little tempo. They want to get in a rhythm that way. So controlling the pace of this game is going to be a very, very big stat on who comes out victorious in this one. Second is going to be rushing yards. Kentucky ranks 28th in the nation in rushing yards. They average 214.7 yards a game running the football, and they give up, and they rank, this is opponents' rushing averages, and how Kentucky does against the run. They rank 56 in stopping the run, and average opponents' rushing yards is 136.7. That is not great, but it's solid. It's definitely solid. 56 out of 134 isn't bad at all, so very, very solid numbers there for the Cats. On the other hand, very, very bad. 94th is the South Carolina Gamecocks. That's what they rank in rushing yards a game. They average. Excuse me, I did this kind of backwards here. 94th is the rank that they get in rushing defense, and the average yards that they give up to an opponent is 182. So you can see where I am going with this one. And then rushing offense, they rank 130th, and they average 65.3. So they haven't been able to run the ball well, and they haven't been able to stop the run well either. But here's the thing. If they're going to get the passing game going, which we have seen, they are able to pass the ball when Lenore Sellers is hitting and some guys step up and he has a little bit of time in the pocket. This is a very, very capable passing game. The way that this offense can be 10 times better is if the running game is able to get going. If Kentucky makes them one-dimensional, it's going to be a very long night for the Gamecocks because they're simply going to have to rely on Lenore Sellers in the pass game to go out there and win. And we've already seen this happen. In the last game against Missouri, they did the same thing, and they came up short. So if Kentucky is able to slow them down in that aspect, make them one-dimensional, it's going to be very, very hard. So they have to get the running game going. Same thing for Kentucky is because they lay their this is their calling card, is the running game. They have two really, really good running backs in Seth McGowan and Dante Dowdell, and even now Patterson. So this is going to be very, very interesting to see. Kentucky, they have to establish the run because they have a young quarterback that they want to get in comfortable and easy manageable situations, and that's what they hang their hat on. That's what they are very, very good at doing, and that is the type of offense that we are. Now, on the other hand, they want to set up Lenora Sellers in a easier way to pass the ball. They have to be able to, have something else except for the pass game. So really trying to balance things out for the South Carolina Gamecocks is going to be very, very big for rushing yards. Quick drink here. I'll be right back. Okay. Lastly, penalties. You may say, well, there isn't. I mean, of course you're going to say penalties. Like, if you're penalized a lot, you're going to lose a game. If you're not penalized a lot, you got a better chance of winning a game. Correct. And the reason that I say this is Kentucky is not good enough to get penalized in this game consistently and win the football game. Kentucky is not good enough to get penalized consistently in this game and win the football game. Right. Here's the other thing. South Carolina consistently shoots themselves in the foot with penalties. Kentucky has been very, very good at not drawing penalties this season. They rank 48th in penalty yards per game, and the more the number goes up, the worse the teams are in penalty yards per game. Kentucky averages 5.33 penalties a game, and they rank 23rd overall in penalties against them, which is good. That was really, really good numbers right there for the Cats. On the other hand, on the flip side here for South Carolina, they rank 130th in the country in penalty yards per game, at 9.25 penalties drawn a game. That is an insane amount. That is 4 more penalties than Kentucky. And that is a lot more yards. So you see the 48th compared to 130th right there. And that means they are giving up, or they are subtracting their yards by a crap ton. So the reason I say this is Kentucky is not good enough. On the Kentucky side, Kentucky is not good enough to win this football game by committing penalties. Other thing is South Carolina consistently puts themselves in a spot to win the game against Missouri, and they just beat themselves. So if they're going to win this football game, they can't beat themselves. I mean, it's as simple as that. And then the other stat here is for them 130th overall in drawing penalties, which is not good at all, guys. So that is why I believe that this is a very, very big stat. Kentucky has to stay out of penalties because they're not good enough to do that and win. And on the other hand, South Carolina, if they're going to win this football game, they can't keep shooting themselves in the foot, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Especially on the offensive side of the ball. It's really simple. Really, really simple. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 67 here on the Big Blue Breakdown, as we broke down the stats of this game, and we're obviously talking Cutter Boley, and the three biggest stats heading into this one. As we just broke that down, 3 biggest stats is going to be time of possession, rushing yards, and penalties. I broke that all down. I appreciate you guys coming in and listening here today. Tomorrow at night, I will release the video. We're going to be talking with Tom from Kentucky Football Nation about what if Kentucky wins. So make sure to tune into that one. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this one. Go check us out on social media, on Instagram, TikTok, and X. You're missing extra content if you don't do that, and also help us out here on YouTube. Subscribe, like, comment, share, just spread the word. That's the best way to help out the podcast. Also help us out on Spotify as well. I really, really appreciate you guys coming in here and listening to my breakdown of the South Carolina Kentucky football game, specifically looking at stats, which is not a prediction video that will be coming on Friday, but excuse me for the mic there, but I appreciate you guys coming in here so much, and we will catch you guys tomorrow talking with Tom from Kentucky Football Nation. Make sure to come in there and listen. That one will be very, very good episode, as it always is with Tom. So thank you guys so much for tuning in this one, and as always, go Cats.